This is a call meeting for Thursday, June the 25th, 26th at 10 a.m. And before we start this meeting, I'd like to ask Mr. John if he would to lead us in prayer.
Let's stand. Let's pray. Dear God, we thank you for this day. Thank you for all that you do in our lives. We thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, that died on the cross for our sins. Lord, I ask that you would give us the wisdom today to do the business of this county. And Lord, give us strength to do what's right at all times. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Hey. We have any guest speakers? Anybody? Okay, if not, we're gonna go to the regular.
Do we need to do the roll call, Mr. Chairman?
Need to approve the agenda. I hear a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll move that we approve the agenda with some moving around of the items.
I say.
Okay, what we're gonna do is, John, we're gonna move some of the items a little later because we're waiting on one of the commissioners. Okay. Yeah, I got a motion and a second. Any discussion? All right, let's vote on it. Mr. Tindall. Mr. Burse. Mr. Lucas. Mr. Cox. Chair votes aye. Okay.
Mr. Chairman, we probably need to go back and do a roll call just for the record.
Yeah.
So you won't make
Did
sure
I
you
miss
get on
it?
record. who all's
Okay,
here.
I did miss that. I thank you, John.
Yes, sir.
Let's do a roll call. Before we start. Mr. Burris, Mr. Tindall,
Here.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Cox,
Here.
chair's here. Okay. All right. We're gonna go to the appointment on we have a appointment of Family and Children Service Board. Mr. Patrick Simmons has sent us a letter saying that he will accept it again. He was already on it. Is he here? He's not here.
He's not here. No, sir.
Okay. Will you explain that to us, Jay?
Yes, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Simmons' term will expire June 30th, 2026. And he has expressed interest in serving again for another 5-year term, which will start July 1, 2026 and expire on June 30, 2031.
Okay.
And we recommend to appoint Mr. Simmons back to the, reappoint Mr. Simmons to the Ware County DFAX Board.
Okay.
And we have a letter from the director to recommend a reappointing.
Okay. All righty. I hear a motion that we appoint Mr. Simmons.
Mr. Chairman, I'll make the motion. We appoint Mr. Patrick Simmons to the DFCS board. Reappointing.
I got a motion.
I'll second.
Got a second. Any discussion on it? All right, let's vote.
What, were there any other interested parties for that?
It's-
Or
That's all I was received was that one letter.
There was nobody else asked for it, I guess.
Not that I'm aware of.
Do y'all have any other appointees? Don't they appoint from the board too?
Sir?
We don't have any more appointees. Anybody that's asked for it?
Well, I'm not aware of anybody else that asked for it.
Okay. All right, let's vote on it. Mr. Burris, Mr. Tindall, Mr. Lucas, Mr. Cox,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Okay. Now, we're gonna move A down, so we're gonna go to resolution of 2026-09, adopt the 26 joint Ware County comprehensive plan.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners, this is a plan that we have to update every 5 years. The Regional Commission updates it for us in the city of Waycross. It's a joint plan that lists several projects in different elements such as transportation, housing, so forth. But in order to remain a qualified local government, we have to adopt this resolution, adopting this plan so that we stay eligible for grants.
Okay. Okay, on this, anything else on that plan? Anybody got any? Before we do it, is there any such a thing as amending that comprehensive plan or to add something to it that could be looked into by somebody?
Yes, sir. Once it's adopted, we can go back and ask for an amendment and do an amendment to the plan. So,
Yeah. There's some things that
and the reason I say once it's adopted, because DCA's already approved it as it is. So it would muddy the waters to try to amend it now. So once we adopt it, then we can go back and amend it, and it's not any problem to amend it then.
okay.
So,
So what we need to do is go ahead and adopt it, and then we can bring it up and add some stuff to it later.
yeah, and I think that what you're looking at would probably go under the cultural resources type.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
All right.
Mr. Chair, I move that we adopt the resolution 2026-09, the adoption of the 2026 joint Ware County comprehensive plan.
Okay. Got a motion.
I second.
You got a second. All right, is there any discussion? No, let's vote on it. Mr. Burson, Mr. Tindall,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Cox,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Okay. Next, let's see, is a purchase request for the EMA utility vehicle.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Commissioners, this is a request by Ware County EMA to purchase a utility vehicle. This will be used when they go out on natural disasters or other disasters. They received 2 quotes, one from the Polaris dealership in Blackshear, Georgia, for a Polaris Ranger crew cab with 1,000. That quote's for $19,473.64. They also received another quote from a Honda dealership in Tifton, Georgia, which was for a Honda Pioneer Crew, 1,000 for $22,144.95. They requested a quote from Kawasaki and never received one. They also went to the Honda shop here and tried to receive a quote, and from staff said that they didn't really want to deal with them. So, and they didn't have the 26s; all they had was the 25s.
Okay.
So we recommend that you purchase the Polaris dealership, the Polaris 1,000 crew cab or crew from Polaris dealership in Blackshear. And I think is it Okanokie Outdoors?
Okanokie Outdoors.
Okanokie Outdoors in the amount of $19,473.64. And for record, that this funds will come from the tower rental from a previous hurricane where Seminole County rented a tower from us.
Right.
And we received somewhere around $50,000 for that tower rental, and that's where these funds will come from.
Okay. All righty.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the purchase of the Polaris Ranger from Okanokie Outdoors.
I'll second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Any discussion on it? All right, let's vote on it. Mr. Burst,
Aye.
Mr. Luke, Mr. Tindall,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Cox,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Okay. This is a purchase request for fire rescue personnel protection equipment. Now, we had some discussion on that the other day.
Yes,
You know what
Mr.
that's
Chair.
about.
So, yeah, Mr. Chairman, this is the request from the fire department to purchase 7 turnout coats, 7 turnout pants, 2 fire helmets, and two sets of fire boots, in the amount of $24,867, and that will come out of the public safety SPLOST account for equipment. This is the same equipment we purchased when we applied for the fireworks grant, or firehouse grant. I'm sorry, firehouse grant.
Right.
And but you're only eligible for that every other year.
Yeah.
So, and they've got some equipment that's expiring. It only has a shelf life of 10 years from the day it's manufactured. So it doesn't matter if it's worn 1 time or 10 times. 10 years, you can't wear it after 10 years and go into a burning house.
Okay. All right.
Mr. Chair, I move that we approve the purchase of the turnout gear in the amount of $24,867.
I second.
Okay, I got a motion and a second for purchase. Any discussion?
Mr. Chairman, Chief, you say the turnout gear that you have that's it's gonna be being replaced, that y'all can still use it, but it's for certain.
Yeah, you can still use the stuff out of days at the training center. You just can't go into a burning building with it. So if you're standing outside doing some training, you can, but you can't do anything that's got any fire to it once it gets its 10-year shelf life period over. And when we do the firework grant, we usually get it every other year. and we buy the same thing, we get turnout gear with it, but with a 10-year shelf life, we try to keep an alternate supply, so we used to get probably close to 9 to 10 sets, $25,000. Now you're lucky to get 7 sets, for $25,000. But we have a guy come in that does the measurement for the people that gets it. So it's somewhat made right then, and it's not sitting on the shelf, because if it sits on the shelf and they go to pull it off, the life, I don't know how long it's been on the shelf, so the life expectancy is still going on. So we just have them come in within it, and get it go with it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you.
All righty. Anything else on the board discussion? If not, let's vote on it. Mr. Burst,
Aye.
Mr. Tindall, Mr. Lucas, Mr. Cox,
Aye.
and Chair votes aye. All right. This is the award the contract for runway 119 rehabilitation.
Chairman,
Okay,
so
go ahead.
offer motion that we approve the bid for the runway 119 at the Waycross Airport. I can't remember the exact, what was the amount of that?
East Coast was 1 million.
Oh,
1,731,996.
196. Okay.
Just a correction is to approve the contract, not the bid. We approved the bid, in April.
Right.
Okay, so
So
it's
this
just
is
a
actually
You
contract.
just
for the
yeah.
contract.
approved the contract?
It's approved the contract, yes, sir. We approved the bid in April. So, this is to approve the contract, so then, once everything's signed, we can, issue a notice to proceed, and they can, start the work. These, this is an addition to the agenda, because I, found out that the bids expired July 5th. So we needed to go ahead and get them in so that we can issue notice to proceed, so we can stay with these numbers.
Okay.
And we wasn't waiting for us. We were waiting on the engineers and DOT to move
Approve
it forward.
everything.
That's why it's so late getting to county commission.
No, the engineers want to slow it down then.
No, it was
Should've been done
DOT. It was DOT.
Oh, DOT?
Yes, sir. And all they were waiting for the federal funds to become available. So is what they were waiting on.
Yeah. Okay.
And you know, our portion of that will be $43,279.90.
Yeah.
And I would like to just tell the commission that, there are some aviation, discretionary funds that we're trying to apply for as well, and maybe reduce that cost down some more.
Good.
Okay.
And I think this is for the longest runway out there, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. It will shut the airport down for a little while they're doing that, so,
Okay.
Now, this is just to award the contract
yes, sir.
for the runway.
Yes, sir.
All right. John, that what you just made the motion to
That's
award it? Or-
Commissioner Burst.
I made
Oh,
the motion.
yeah, okay, Mr.
Yeah,
Burke
just
made the
award the
motion.
contract.
Award,
Yeah, the bid's
Okay.
already been,
and, we had a second.
Did we get a second on that?
Yeah.
I'll second that.
Okay, we got a second. All right, we got a motion and a second. We got any more discussion? No, let's bid on it. Vote on it. Mr. Burst,
aye.
Mr. Tindall,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Cox,
Aye.
Chair votes aye. Okay. Maybe they can get it started. All right, we're gonna go back to A. That's all of the, is that everything that we want to approve right now? That's all things on the agenda. So let's go back to A, the resolution 2026-08, adopt the fiscal year 2027 budget. Okay? Y'all don't jump real hard now and make that motion.
Well,
Okay.
Mr. Chairman, I'll motion that we approve the the budget
Budget.
for fiscal year 27, 2027 in the amount of $54,486,093.
I'll second that.
Accept, budget, okay. John seconded it.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, are there any discussion?
Well, the only thing I've got to say in the way of discussion, Mr. Chairman, is that this is something that the finance department under Ms. Beverly's, your leadership and the manager, department heads, and, try to make this a very efficient budget, budget that we can live with. But one of the things that we face the reality that it's a budget, and it's kind of like shooting in the dark because there's so many unknowns out there. We don't know how things gonna affect us, so we're just trying to travel the best route we can with this budget, and hopefully it can meet our needs.
I think Beverly's done a good job. Not increasing it, but 2 million, I was thinking it'd be a lot more. That way, as high as everything's gone here lately.
Yeah.
It's kind of, it's good business to hold it that close.
Mr. Chairman, I would want to just kind of clarify something. 54 million, 486,093. That is the total budget.
So,
But our operating budget is 34,415,351. And so the remaining of that, of the 54 million, that is your special purpose funds, like your SPLOST and so forth, projects. So we have to balance that as well. But I just want to make it clear for the news or the
30,
that that actual operating fund is 34 million.
yeah, yeah, that's
Um,
what I meant, 34. It was 32, wasn't it, last
It was
year?
32, yes, sir.
32 last year.
Yeah. It increased about 1.2 million. At 1.9 million, is what the operating fund increased.
Right,
James, we had a COLA increase, right, for the employees?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and we had mentioned like 5%. Are we gonna do the 2.5, or are we gonna do it all at one time, or
We-
how we gonna do that?
We left the 5% in there from the start.
Right.
To do 5 and starting in July,
Okay.
so.
Which I think, I know last year we did the 3 and the 2.
Yeah.
yeah,
But I think, that, from my personal opinion, that if we're gonna do the 5%, let's go and do the 5% and just, because we got some good employees, dedicated employees, and I don't think we just need to string them along,
Mhm.
saying, but so I think just if we're gonna do the 5%, let's just do it one time.
I agree with you.
yeah. Okay. Is there any more? All right, let's vote.
I got one question. Mr. Beverly,
Go ahead.
where are we at as far as, I noticed that as far as the revenues collected, we're at about 85% collection, about 97% on the expenditures, and we're still below budget. Are we gonna be, you anticipate that we'll be over budget from last year's numbers as far as the expenditures?
We're gonna be close,
Okay,
because included in those expenditures are more of Hurricane Helene and Debbie expense that was recorded this year, so that's included with that, and that was like $1 million
right.
right there, so it's gonna be close.
Well, that $1 million, is that part of
We
money
did
that,
receive that money though, so
Okay.
we have that money,
okay,
so that's included in it.
okay,
We received everything back from
Yes,
that
that
we
we're gonna
spent.
get. The only thing we should have coming to us now from FEMA or JEMA would be mutual aid for the fires. And I
Right.
don't know what that number will be yet, but I'll get that hopefully by the end of the month, next month, and get it recorded so that we know how much we're gonna get back from that.
and is that part of the expected revenue that's coming in, that
Not
close
yet.
to $2 million that we're short
Not
on the
yet.
expected revenue?
That will be revenue for this year.
Okay,
We'll get.
okay,
I'll set up an AR and we might get it next year, but it's gonna count for this year.
Right.
right,
That money will, because that's also expense included was the mutual aid. And I know we can get reimbursed for the equipment we sent, right?
mm-hmm,
The equipment we sent over and the employees we sent over.
right,
So each department's just gotta figure out how much and how long they were over there. And once they get those numbers to me, we can set that up and that'll be revenue to record for this year.
right.
So that will help our revenue for this year.
And so talking about the 26, or are you talking about 27?
26,
26, okay,
current.
all right, good. So so where's that 1.8 that we're short on the revenue? Where is that coming in, or should be coming in from?
Most of it's coming from taxes,
Okay,
the loss, and some of the fees went up, but not a lot. Most of it's in the taxes.
Okay. And appreciate that, Commissioner Turner. And again, like I said, they're shooting in the dark about this budget, and we try to do as best we can. For instance, just like at the rec department, we just had 2 air conditioning units go out, and you don't go out to Lowe's and pick those up. You know, it's very costly. So it's things such as that, and also with the gasoline price, which I talked to the manager earlier on about this. We don't have just 1 or 2 vehicles. We got a fleet of what, over 100?
149,
149. And so those are those things, those unknowns that you don't know. We don't know if it's gonna come back down or go up anymore or whatever. So we're just doing the best we can with it.
That's right. Because when you set, you gotta balance the budget.
Right.
So if you know your expenses are gonna be this, you gotta figure out where that
Revenue's coming in.
And when the paper, like the manager said, when the paper quoted a $5 million increase overall, if you look at our SPLOST and our LMIG, those other special funds, like he said, we're receiving more money for those, so that's money we have available to spend. So you offset the expense with the revenue in those accounts as well. That all has to balance when you start.
Appreciate everything you do, Beverly.
Okay. Any more on it? All right, are we ready to vote on it?
yes, sir.
Let's vote on it. Mr. Burson,
Aye.
Mr. Tindall,
Aye.
Mr. Lucas, Mr. Cox,
Aye.
chair votes aye. Okay. Got any, the manager comment?
I don't have anything other than I appreciate, staff and everybody working hard, trying to, get this budget out. We set a pretty strenuous timeline to get it done, but everybody did what they had to do to get it done, so thank y'all.
Okay, anybody else?
Yeah, I got a couple questions for the manager.
Okay,
The
commission comment?
striping, grant that we got, when will they start with that? Do you know?
It should be starting about any time
Anytime?
with that.
If we can, I'd like to put that Zion Hill Church Road on there as soon as we can, because I've had a lot of calls from a lot of the elderly people coming, from church at night. There are no lines on that road whatsoever, so
Right.
we could kind of move that up. And the Folks Bennett Road, we was gonna try to get it paved. Is it coming along? Or
They're working on the design.
design of it?
Yes,
Okay.
sir. Yes, sir. They're working on the design of those last few. I think that Gooding Bay is about ready, and then I'm not sure what order that he's got them in, but they should be working on all at the same time. But
Okay.
I know that Gooding Bay is about ready, and then we'll go to the other ones.
What about that? Is it Terra Road out there in Pebble Hill?
they should be starting anytime as well. They've got the NOP notice to proceed on those,
Okay.
and they were biting at the bit to get started,
Yeah.
and so they should start this week or next.
Okay.
They working on Dusty Lane and them.
Dusty
Right.
Lane and Katy Lane, yeah, they should be ready to mix or getting close. Well, the rains might slow them down, but they were getting real close to mix those, and I know the ditches were pulled, and so those should be about ready to mix and pave, and that's the part of the CDBG 2023 CDBG.
Yeah.
So that's we're paving those and using our match funds for that 2023 CDBG.
Yeah.
So we added those because the other one came in under budget.
Okay. Any more?
Mr. Chairman, I'd just like to say that, the Bailey Street pool, if you don't think it's being used, just ride by. It's being used, Bailey Street pool, yes, being used very much over there. A lot of people, and just, it just does my heart good just to see them. They're really enjoying themselves out there. A lot of adults with the children out there at the Bailey Street pool, and, so I think that's a good thing. That's really, think about it, that's the only one we have in the county, right there. And I also like to give a shout out. We had two of our county employees just were featured in the Waycross magazine. Our fire chief, Chief D. Meadows, and also the coroner, David Jordan. We had very beautiful article and write-ups about them, and I think that's real good. So I just want to give a shout out to them for that.
It cost us a lot of money.
I don't.
Yeah.
Yep. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
Okay. Anybody else?
No, that's it.
We have a lot of drainage problem in Ware County, and more, a lot of it's in the city too. And I'm gonna speak with the mayor and the city engineer, but we need to do some widening on canals. These canals, all of them were probably put in the 20s,
It's been a long time.
back WPA days. Everybody's built houses all on them, and they've closed them, narrowed them down, so now we don't have any. And everybody complains about the water standing in the streets. Well, it's got to give it time to run through the straw. It just don't get out of here. Where would we need to go to try to get a grant or something, or to get something started
Well,
to widen up these canals? They're gonna have to build a retention pond for every house you build directly to hold the water that runs off of it, because you can't go to the river.
Right.
Because the canals is all half stopped up.
And so I think you would start with EPD and the Corps of Engineers,
Yeah,
and start there, and then request some assistance, or it's probably everything else in government has to come start with a study, and then go from there. So is what I would think. So
could we go to the Corps of Engineers, the Army Corps of Engineers? Aren't they over all the waterways?
Yes, sir. You have to go
that's
through.
what I say. You go to the Corps.
John
of
might
Engineers.
know a little bit about that. They used to control all of that.
Yes, sir. You'll have to go through them to get mainly the permitting and the permission to be able to dig in those waterways. Plus, like James was saying, going through the EPD to get that for the disturbance of the waterway, because you start digging in those canals, you're going to release some sediment and silt that's going to eventually make its way, or try to make its way, to the river, and so we've got to have permits and controls on all that.
They would control that. I'm sure they'd probably have benefit. There's probably some grants out there that we might could get if we could get it, somehow get it started off. I think the city probably needs it worse than the county does in a way. But
So I would think your first step would probably us meet with the city management and commission, and then get their buy-in, and then if they buy in, then we can proceed to the FEMA and maybe even EPD as well at the same time and see what's available.
Okay.
I know one thing that could probably help just, even before we did those kind of things is, and it would be a city county effort would be to, go in and assess the current stormwater collection system, with all of our catch basins and, things like that, because, several catch basins in town, are just full of
Yeah.
straw,
Right.
clippings, things that get thrown off, trash off the street. That, and then, there's ordinances in the city that restrict you from blowing yard clippings in the
Right,
streets.
right.
But there's no enforcement of that, or very limited of enforcement of that. And so everything that you blow into the street, if it stays in the street, when it rains, it's going to go down the ditches and then eventually make it into the catch basins, and then you get a lot of straw. I know a lot of the areas have pine trees, but Cherokee Heights is real bad about it. And you'll have tons of pine straw in there, and they clog up the catch basins. I know several years ago, downtown was getting flooded during the hurricanes and such, and people would just go out there and take a rake and pull the straw back off the grate right over the basin, and the water would just keep on going. So the thing we got to look at when it's talking about people's yards flooding or their streets flooding and stuff, when you get 4 or 5 inches of rain in a short period of time, there's almost, I don't know if you could construct a system big enough to hold all the water, or even estimate it. And so it's not a matter of if it backs up, it's how fast does it recede. So if we do have some backup, I mean, it's just the nature of the game. But if it can recede in a short period of time, then that would be an indication of how well our collection system's doing. But I do agree that at a minimum on the canals, there needs to be some rehab, reconstruction on them. It's going to take a lot of effort to get the widening of them done, because you're looking at there's houses and buildings and properties that are built right on the top of right near the canals, and but there needs to be some pretty major reconstruction of these canals. There's been limited maintenance and repair work done on them over the years since they've been constructed. So and I'm pretty sure most of it's due because of right of way issues.
Yeah,
you can't get a tractor down the canal to be able to do the digging. There's specialized tractors we can get, but they cost money.
Yeah. It's some of it needs to be done. If it don't, it's going as we keep building, we keep creating runoff. And the more buildings we put in,
more impervious surfaces.
Right.
Water's got to go somewhere.
gotta go.
Just like that rain we had the other day. Now that's a good example of
Right.
a lot of rain in a short period of time, and
Yeah.
it's just
I mean, that's the kind of the backside of having more paved roads, more industry, more buildings, more parking lots. We want to see that progress in town. Every time you see a restaurant go in town, or a Wawa, or whatever it may be, it's like, hey, great, we got some growth going around. But every time you see one of those, it's going to add a parking lot, and you're looking 5,000, 6,000, 10,000 square feet of asphalt on the ground or concrete on the ground, and it's covering up the dirt. So the water doesn't absorb into the dirt. It's going somewhere, and it's going right into the collection system for the stormwater. And so, progress has its backside too.
Oh, yeah.
So, and we've got to stay on top of it. And, I think that and some other things that, over the last, you can probably go back 50, 60 years that we have not stayed on top of, as far as we progress in certain areas, we haven't progressed in other areas, whether it be an overpass, whether it be stormwater, whether it be water and sewer, all the different amenities that we provide. We haven't done a great job on staying on top of the maintenance and updating of those services.
and John, you mentioned about progress, and then the backside of it is you have these problems with the water and infrastructure and pipes and all the stuff on the ground. That's something you never think about because you don't see it.
Yep.
And then when stuff started happening, and like I said, these stuff to put in, I'm pretty sure the city has pipes and stuff that's been down there for 75, 80 years, and, some of it's collapsed. So it's just, it brings a whole new set of problems, you know.
Nobody thinks about the pipes underground for the water until they turn on their spigot, nothing comes out. Nobody
Yeah.
thinks about the sewer lines under the ground till they flush their toilet and it winds up in their bathroom floor.
Right.
Or it starts backing up through their shower stall or what have you, you know, and so nobody really thinks about that stuff until it's not working.
Exactly.
You know, so we've got to stay on top of it and got to keep the maintenance and the upgrades going as much as possible.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman, I got a question.
go ahead.
Speaking of old pipes, that reminded me, did we ever get anything done at the courthouse for those old pipes over there?
We still need to bid it out.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Yeah,
know.
we did get some estimates. I just hadn't had a chance to sit down and write the bid for it.
Okay.
So.
We probably gonna need to get that done then, because it,
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I
We
did have
know
a
it.
question though. Do we want to go ahead and try to bid out the drainage and the sewage drains
Sewer
and
and the
the supply, or just
Both.
do the supply, or
Both of them
While they're
wore out
already
on
in there,
me.
might well try to do
Yeah.
both
yeah,
of
I'm
them.
not sure how bad the drains are wore out.
yeah,
You know, as far as in the chases and so forth. You know, I think they're probably wore out on your horizontal runs. where
I
it
would
takes a
probably
while to
do
get
it
out.
all at one time and be done
Yeah.
with it, because if you don't, you're gonna keep going back, you know,
yeah.
back
They
to
work
it.
better, they about have one of them tore out when they fixing the other one, so
Yeah.
you might as well
Yeah.
change them both,
Right.
sewer and the water on the drainage.
I hadn't
Yeah.
looked at the sewer, but I know the
Supply.
regular supply line, water pipes is in bad shape over there. They've been
Yeah.
patched.
It's just all galvanized and copper right now. It is
It's galvanized and cast iron
cast
Cast.
iron.
and probably some terracotta.
Yeah.
And it's probably what, 6 or 7
Terracotta.
years
What
old?
was I think we replaced all the terracotta. I think all the terracotta was outside the building, and we replaced it with PVC when we had that break there. And I think what's under the building, all your drains are cast iron, and all your supplies are galvanized.
Where would that funding come from?
We'll have to use what's left in the 2014 SPLOST for buildings, and then pick up the remaining in the 22 SPLOST for buildings.
Do we know if there's any lead connectors on the water line coming in to that galvanized?
I'm not sure.
It's all galvanized. I think most of all galvanized. There may be some lead under there.
Reason I'm asking is because 2 years ago, the EPD enforced an EPA regulation for lead service line inventory, which required replacement of service lines from the tap of the main line coming in to the meter, and then from the meter all the way through to the building or the resident, and it depends on how much. If there's any lead in it, you know, they did exclude up to 36 inches of goosenecks that could be lead, and then they and some other things were excluded. But if there's a possibility that we could, and I'm not sure how it worked with government to government type, you know, interaction, but there's a possibility we could get some funds when it comes to replacement of internal lines based on lead contamination. If we've got galvanized inside and there's lead fittings, then it's classified as galvanized requiring replacement. And so we could look into that. I'm not sure where we would qualify on that as far as getting the internal piping replaced. But at least if there is lead fittings or what have you, at least that the service line itself from the meter all the way to the building could get replaced by the state funding.
Okay.
And I'll check with building maintenance and see what's.
Okay.
So,
All right, any more comment?
No.
You got anything else?
Also,
Good.
I hear a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
second.
Got a motion and a second. All in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned.